Hey guys, Jeremy from Critical Trigger here. Happy Monday. Hope you've had a great day so far. My hair is all wet. I was out in the rain all day today. It's really cold and wet here in Vancouver. But I wanted to do a little bit of a different style of video today. So this kind of video is going to be an unscripted rant style video. I've never done a video like this, well, at all really. Most of my videos have been scripted. I'm reading from a script. But this one is just going to be purely my thoughts just spilling out. So we'll just get right into what I wanted to talk to you today. And that's kind of going to be a follow-up on my overdress video. And I want to talk about complexity in card games. So, personally, I really love decks that are complex. I don't typically play the easy kind of, I don't want to call them helmet decks, but that's what they're referred to as. So, for example, something like Neo Nectar Katrina, when that was kind of a menace in Premium. It was really easy to play. It had pretty much one set play that you did every single time, and there wasn't that much variation. It was very consistent. But I did not really like playing that deck. It was strong, sure, but I didn't like playing a deck that just is kind of just vanilla in nature. It's just a vanilla 5-attack deck with very high numbers on Force 2. I enjoy decks that have a lot of different kind of lines of play where I can get to things like combo decks. So, for example, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, I'm playing Virtual World. Very combo heavy deck, lots of maneuvering your deck states, lots of Foolish Burial, stuff like that. And in Premium, as you saw, I'm playing a Highlander deck, filled with a lot of different plays you can make, just stuff to the brim with good cards. That's something I enjoy. And like I said in my Overdress Thoughts video, the simplicity of the format is something that I kind of shy away from because I don't find it fun. I enjoy the skill expression of playing a really hard to play deck, really hard to pilot deck. So an example of that would be something like, in my opinion, I'd say Night Rose is a pretty interesting to pilot deck, and is on the harder side. It's very easy to learn, I'd say, but to play it at its max capacity, you have to think about a lot of different lines of play. And I'd say the same thing with Harry. Harry has a lot of different lines where you can kind of shift your play accordingly. It's not ever just one play that you do all over the time. But let's just stick with the Night Rose example for now, because I know for sure that is a deck that is fairly complex, has a lot of different lines of play, and can be a very rewarding deck to master. So, example of Night Rose, you need to know exactly what your plan is in the next few turns, because you're going to be dumping cards from your deck to your grave. And you need to know how those cards are going to affect next turn. So, do you think that they're going to put down a strong attack extender? Do you need to foolish let's say a cannoneer, something like that? Do you need to do some heavy attacks in the next few turns, but you don't have the necessary resources to multi-attack right now? Do you send a Column Bard that turn? Do you send your Skull Dragons? It's a very interesting deck that has a lot of different kind of routes to different answers to different questions that the game state asks you, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I think that's really cool. I prefer gameplay where I can express myself in more unique ways than just attacking 3 times, I counterblast 1 plus 10k, something like that. I really don't mean to like make fun of like the Nirvana deck. as I actually do like the deck. I think it's a pretty fun deck to play, and I just like the Virina cards. I think they're really cool. But I will say it is probably one of the more simple decks in the format, so I'm just using it as an example. I'm not using it to hate on Nirvana at all. Just want to make that clear. I do really like the Nirvana deck, but like I said, very, very simple, not a lot of things going on. Another thing I like about complex decks is that you feel very free when you play them. Like I said before, I like expressing myself through the decks that I play, and when I play these complex combo decks, or decks that just have a lot of different tools in its toolbox and lets you access them to respond to different game states, I think that's really cool, because part of your personality will show when you answer these questions that the game asks you, depending on like how you react in certain ways. Like when you react to pressure, like you're getting rushed in something, do you form a defensive hand? Like do you have the ability to search cards? Do you search defensive pieces, stuff like that? Or to answer aggression, do you just say, I'm gonna take all this damage just to get all this counter blast, and I'm gonna search just enough guard, but next turn I want to go all in and kill my opponent that turn, or even if I don't, then I lose. I think it's really cool that card games let you express this, right? I think it's really neat that you're free to make these plays and they're a reflection of yourself. I think that's a really interesting thing that only really games like fighting games have. A friend of mine once compared Yu-Gi-Oh to fighting games, in that you are able to kind of play the game how you want. There's a lot of different styles of playing the game. Just like fighting games, like some people are zoners, so you can kind of equate that to playing like a control deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, like floodgating your opponent, making them unable to play. Some people like playing a rushdown character in fighting games, so like that's like saying I like playing a combo deck, making a big board and just going crazy, right? I think that's a very good analogy, and it really just kind of sums up what I like about formats that are complex and that have a lot of decks that are medium to hard to pilot. Most formats where the decks that are really, really good are not very, and they're not very hard to play, sorry. I am not a big fan of those kind of formats. I think those formats are just, they're not for me personally. I understand why people might like them, because being able to deal with a common simplified game state is a lot easier, and you are able to plan ahead because there's not a whole lot of variation in what you need to respond to, which I understand, and competitively it is probably better, but I definitely don't have as much fun in those kind of formats where I'm forced to kind of concede my lines of play to simplify a game state. That's just not what I look for in a card game, especially in a card game like Vanguard, where I know there's a lot of cool stuff that I can play, and there's a lot of interesting interactions that I can build my deck around and kind of put forward, I guess, if that makes any sense. Essentially, I just really, really enjoy being able to do whatever. Just like, I don't want to just turn cards sideways, right? I don't think that's very fun. Some people like it, and no knocks against you, but I just don't. And yeah, I think that is kind of a cool thing to think about. It's food for thought. I just wanted to make a quick follow-up video discussing a main point I made in my overdress video. Nothing super crazy, but I do want to know, what do you guys like? Do you guys enjoy the more simpler formats, as it might just be easier for you to play? Like, you can just casually pull up a game of D, just kind of throw cards down, turn them sideways, have fun. Or do you enjoy the kind of formats where you're forced to think, you're forced to make these kind of interesting plays around your deck construction, things like that? Yeah. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Kind of a weird video. If you guys like these kind of unscripted rants, let me know. If you didn't like it, also let me know. This is kind of a first for me as well. I'm also doing this in one take. I'm trying to do this in one take. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. I will see you all again Wednesday. I'll have some more Vanguard content probably. Although I do have some Weiss content planned in the future. Maybe some Shadowverse stuff. Maybe. And also, I think there's a new update in Vanguard 0, so we might go over that this week. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to stay notified for my next upload. Anyways, I was Jeremy from Critical Trigger, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. Have a nice night, and see you next video.